historian, check that out. It's worth watch.
Yeah, man. Definitely
But
sad.
yeah,
Yeah, you know, we lost a lot of people this year, man. A lot of people that's monumental, and you know, we just gotta keep their legacy moving. You know, teach about who they was. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's our duty to do that due diligence on this show here. Because we're here to educate as well as entertain, you know?
Yeah, for certain. For certain.
But now, going into the elephant in the room, had the big election. Now, and asking you, were you surprised of the results?
No. I had a feeling he was going to win. Only because there was too much bashing on him. You know, from the other party. From, you know, you gotta listen to what's being said. And he was making strong points. You know, me and Poet done talked about it. And, you know, I told him, you know, that they both make good points, but obviously one had more points than the other, and the people voted for who they wanted. And being that, you know, the country has been in the slump that it's been in, the economy has been bad, and people know that when Trump was in office, you know, things were better. So really the people were voting for the hopes of it to get better. And like me, like anyone else, you know, who have homes, who have kids, you know, you want it to be better. You want it to be better for your family in the future, and, you know, and see where it goes from there. You know, a lot of women are angry, you know, because they feel like he's going to overturn things, but what he was actually saying was, you know, he's going to give the power to the state and not federal. So your state, you know, will be in charge of whatever it is, instead of having to do it on a federal level and passing law all through the states. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I'm wrong and someone's listening, correct me, you know? The number's 531-9596, area code 516.
Yeah. You know what, though? You know what's crazy, too, is I had a feeling that he was going to win, but what caught me off guard was how dominant the win was. Because if you look back even 20 years around this time, Bush wiped the floor with Kerry in the same fashion. And this here was more in a more dominant fashion.
Well,
so it goes to show me. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, when you look at it, right? It really didn't have nothing to do with what was being said. Is that the people don't want someone that was dealing with the Biden administration. And not only don't they want that, they don't want a woman in power. That's what it comes down to. And a woman of color at that. You know? That's what it comes down to. And like all of us know, the United States is a corporation. It is a business. Not saying that Trump is the blueprint to business, you know, not saying that he's the blueprint to business, but the man knows how to conduct business. He knows how to put us first in front of other countries. And that's what people voted for.
Absolutely. And another mistake that I felt that they made was I think he went overkill in celebrity presentation. Because it seemed to me like when you bring, it's one thing to have them in your convention, but when you have concerts and celebrity spokesmen on every single rally, it seems like to the American populace that is hidden compensation, like you're hiding your weaknesses, therefore you're using entertainment to pretty much distract.
Well, with the, you know, when they do things like that, it's more to try to draw in the younger crowd, get the younger people to vote. But in all actuality, most of these young people don't give a fuck what's going on. You know, they worried about their iPhone. They worried about what they listening to. They worried about what they wearing. You know, it's a very small few group of young people that actually want their economy or the United States to be better. A very small margin. So when you're bringing out entertainers, that's what you're trying to grab. You're trying to grab the young vote. But at the end of the day, it's the older people that's paying taxes. It's the older people that's, you know, making change, you know. Don't get me wrong. The youth is the future. But they ain't worried about that shit. It don't affect
Not at all.
Half these young people out there, man, they not like us when we was young. And you know, we had cribs, you know, we had things, credit. You know, these days these kids are scamming. You know what I'm saying?
PPP loans.
Not even that, just scamming in general. Like, they don't own shit. You know what I mean? They still, you know, living in their mom's crib and, you know, not understanding the value of the dollar. They just spending it. So when you're trying to reach like that and use entertainers to capture your audience, that's why you're going to lose. How you going to bring out, let's just say, for instance, how you bringing out this one when her biggest song was probably WAP? Ain't nobody listening to what she's saying. They just seeing her ass twerk. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
it's a misrepresentation of the message, because if she would have brought women that actually more educated, like women, you know, not saying she's not educated, but in representation, more educated type women that has political experience, it would have hit, the message would have hit home a little bit more.
If you'd have brought people out like Queen Latifah, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that, like you said, not saying that they're uneducated, but the aura is everything. Your energy, your presence is everything. You know what I'm saying? The presence is everything. And, you know, you don't want people that's half naked or that's how they view you is a thought, or, you know, you can't be a thought and taken seriously is what I'm saying. You know?
Right.
You gotta be someone that people look up to you and you are somebody. Not saying that they're nobody, but your content is what says what you are, and you match your content. You know what I'm saying? You think any young artists, any young women are gonna respect that? Nah, they're not gonna respect it.
No.
You know, they respected people like Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. You know what I mean? Even if you brought Rhapsody out there, you know, someone that respects themselves and
Mm-hmm.
and is respected by their community. You know,
Salt, pepper.
I mean, to an extent. To an extent. You know, Lauryn Hill, someone that can actually capture the people at the end of the day.
Now, another thing too, bro, is what people are now. A lot of people are blaming Joe Biden. A lot of people are saying Biden should have stepped down sooner. He held on too long. He sabotaged you. What are your thoughts about that?
That's not true. He stepped down when he felt he had to step down. Because at the end of the day, he's still the president of the United States. He still has a duty that he has to do. You know? He don't have nothing to do with that. He stepped down. He handed the reins over to her. She was supposed to do what she did while he still does his job. Because he's still in office until January.
And that
you know
right
what I mean?
there, to me, was a conflict of interest because people are looking at it as you're still in power already. Like, you already vice president. Why can you do a lot of the stuff that you're already professing to do? You can't go to Joe Biden and make sure you're getting it done because you raised the bar by it.
I'm going to give you this point right. I'm going to give you this point right here, E. All right? If Kamala Harris was the person to be, right? Hillary Clinton would have spoke for her, right? Michelle Obama would have spoke for her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All these people would have spoken for her, and no one did. Obama spoke because they're part of the same party. That's one thing. But to stand behind somebody and speak for them is a whole different thing. It has to come from yourself. It has nothing to do with what political party you are for. When you endorse somebody, you're endorsing them. So how come she didn't bring those people out? Because till this day, people love Michelle Obama. And till this day, people still love Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton did better. Didn't she?
Yeah.
She had better numbers. So, for me, it's they just didn't see that in you. They didn't, you know, not everybody believed that it should be you. Majority of the people believe that it should be him. Because
and the people
in his time, when he was the president, things were better for us here. And that's what the people remember. The taxpayers. Not the scammers. The taxpayers. But he's not in office yet. And we'll just have to watch what happens. Because I don't vote. I'll tell you that now. They don't give a fuck about me. They just need the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? I will say this, and I know everybody that's been a part of this process will agree. I'm glad this thing is over for the simple fact that I don't no longer have to get these annoying text messages every 5 minutes. You're gonna vote. You're gonna vote. You're gonna vote. Thank God.
That's when you just reply stop. Stop fucking bothering me, motherfuckers. Just type stop, and they stop texting me. I'm just glad that the back and forth is over with.
Now people can act like they had sense again, because a lot of common sense was left. It was like they lost a lot of common sense during these back and forths. It was like mind-boggling.
The crazy thing is the bashing. You know, how can we elect a convicted felon? Yada 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 yada. He was never convicted. Conviction means you in trouble and you serving time, or you're going to serve time. He was accused, and besides the Stormy Daniels thing, everything else was thrown out, and everything is on hold. Anything else that's still pending, which is going to be dismissed, unless they're going to put it up for a few more years. You know, because if you can't charge him while he's the president, now you're looking at statute of limitations, because you're accusing him of when he was in office, before he became in office, and then another 4 years done went by with the Biden administration, so that's 8 years right there, and then you got to wait another 4 years for this term to be over. That's 12 years. All I want is women to be treated equally. I don't want people telling women what they should do with their bodies. It's up to the woman that's dealing with the situation.